That tape of that game Sunday, what are your impressions after looking at it again?
Yeah, weird, a little bit weird. I mean, it was, ASU is going to speed you up for sure. They're going to be very physical with you. They're going to beat you to spots, a lot of the time, and so your margin for error is small. We just didn't get comfortable. Could not get comfortable in the first half, especially. Missed some shots that typically we make. They make you work for them. And then second half, I loved our fight. And it was interesting at times. Offense came very simple, and then at times it seemed like we couldn't get anything. Couldn't get any room. And so I was really proud of the team for coming back. I mean, it showed a lot of. It was fun to watch it actually. I mean, it took a lot of heart to get back in that game. And then you got to give them a lot of credit for making the plays down the stretch. And ASU's in a lot of close games. It's it's kind of how they play. They play a lot of close games, and they're used to finishing. They finished Friday night, and then they finished again Sunday, and you got to give them a lot of credit.
How do you assess how your freshmen did in their first Pac-12 road trip?
I was really impressed. I thought there were some instances for growth, no question. I mean, you can't put the ball on the floor off an O board. We learned that Friday night real quick, and but I thought they kept composure. They were tough. They were what we needed. They were there to win, and I was really proud of the way they competed. And I'm excited now to use both those games actually, because they were different than anything we'd seen to this point. And to use both those games and add on, to what they're bringing already. And so I think everybody had to be pretty impressed by their performance.
Michaela
both
called
nights.
it a football game, and then I realized that Slocum had that long pass to pivot. It was quite the football play that there was no foul call, though, if I remember right.
What's really fascinating, and I was so disappointed last night. I'm looking at getting into all the film, and but that play was cut off both our game film that we filmed and the TV version. And so you couldn't see what happened other than Mick laying on the ground once the camera actually caught up to it, and our bench going, So when it's a difficult game to officiate, I know, when you play them. You're getting by. I mean, the first possession of the game, Robbie Ryan's just running Mick off her line, and it's like, well, here we go. It's going to be interesting to see how this game is called, and then you've got to play within that. We're at their mercy. However they're going to interpret the rules that night is what we have to play within. And so it was very physical, and that's you got to play through it. And so with that, I thought we handled it well. Give Mick a lot of credit for keeping her composure through all that, and we gave ourselves a chance to win. And so on a day where you're as off as we were, 2 for 20 from 3, just the shots didn't fall. That's basketball. And to be honest, we missed as many layups as we did threes, it felt like, or shots around there. It was just one of those days, that you pray your defense is good enough to keep you in it, then you can execute well enough. And I thought, man, here we are, 2.5 minutes to go. We're tied. Let's get this thing and let's steal this game, because that's what it would have been. It just didn't happen.
Do you think Mick did get a little frustrated there toward the end? I mean, that last double foul, that kind of led to Ryan fouling out, and then things got a little shaky down the stretch? I
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I don't know. Mick's closed so many games for us that I have no idea. It can't be fun, I mean, it's basketball. Freedom of movement is the point of emphasis, and it didn't feel that way. And so that's got to be a little bit frustrating, because that game was different. I mean, Arizona game Friday night was very physical too, actually. But that game was different than most of the games that we've played all year, and most moments. I can think of touch fouls where you're looking, the whistle's blown, and you don't even know what happened. And they said, oh, there was an arm check or a forearm, and you're like, really? And you have to go back to watch, and then you see other plays where people are getting moved off lines, and so that's what I'm saying. You have to adapt to it. You got to play through it, and there's going to be nights where I guess they choose to call it that way, and that's just the way it is. That's reality. So I think she does as good as anybody is keeping composure, though.
Would you prefer it be a more physical game, or would you prefer the refs get involved a little bit?
I think any coach would just want it to be the same every night. That's all we could ask for. We watch a rules video. It says exactly what's going to be called and what isn't. They have video clips, and you just expect that. That's what I expect. I think that would be the case anywhere.
You showed some good vertical after one of those calls.
Did I?
You got off the
Still
ground.
got a little bit?
You got off the ground pretty good.
Yeah.
There was a lot of talk after the game about growth and opportunity to grow. What specifically do you think you can grow from out of that week?
Well, I mean, we've talked about it, playing through physicality, but also execution, and we didn't execute great. I was disappointed with the way our screen game was. I didn't think we executed as cleanly as we could have, and that's on us. I mean, we just got to get better, But again, you're in an environment for the first time, as a group with some young players out there trying to navigate it through the chaos of everything, and it was a weird game because we knew what it meant as well, and that was an underlying kind of odd thing within the game, and so all those things add up, and we've been grinding hard, and then you get challenged by a team that's riding high, feeling good, coming off a big upset, and for whatever reason, it seemed like we were a step slow, and so we can really clean that up. I think our defensive accuracy was good, not great, and so I think the way that just the speed of that game and the intensity of that game, we've got to adapt to that, and we will.
So Cal comes in, new coach, no Lindsay, and then it seems like Inigwe was there for like 10 years, and she's not going to be there.
Yeah, and so here comes Cal. I mean, another athletic, tough team that's battle-tested now, coming off a weekend with Stanford. That's going to make you better for sure, and get out of the Bay for the first time, and they'll be excited to play up here, and it's always a good battle with them, and so it's always tough on the boards. It'll be physical inside, and that'll be a good test for us, and that's something that this past weekend prepared us for as well. We had to really compete on the boards, so looking forward to it.
Is this probably the toughest 2-week stretch you're going to see before you really hit tournament time between Cal, Stanford, and Civil War times 2?
Yeah, I mean, you're playing. I mean, what's Oregon now? 6, and Stanford's what? 3 or 4 or 5, whatever. So you're playing 2 top 10 teams, 3 times over 8 days. Nobody else is doing that anywhere, I don't think. And so that's clearly as tough as it gets, I think. And then we have another week, though, and Stanford has an extra day prep this week, which is a little bonus. Thank you. And then later on in the season, though, we go down to L.A. and play at SC, which is never easy, of course, on Friday, at UCLA on a Monday, and then we're back at Stanford on Friday, where they have another extra day, which is awesome as well.
Any favors?
And so, no, we don't mind ESPN, but you know what I mean. It's just a fascinating thing, and so that's another really tough stretch, of course, and then you add on to these 2 weeks, though, we're turning around and at Colorado on a Thursday, which is a short week, too, in prep. So this is, it's the toughest Pac-12 schedule we've ever had, no question, having, all the highest ranked teams twice with a few short weeks, and so what it is, good challenge.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.